Hi, I'm Janice Switlo, and of course the Wet'suwet'en situation remains headline material. And it was interesting to see one woman being given a lot of media time and coverage because she's saying, look, I want to be part of Canada. You know, that's what I want. Well, it turns out this was a former chief who had signed into one of these agreements with the company. So it's kind of understandable that she's standing behind that decision of hers. Now, her statement by saying, I want to be Canadian, I want to be part of Canada, that then, you know, and individuals have the right to make those kinds of decisions. But the fact is that, you know, if she wants to leave, it's not just her decision, it's still a matter of whether the Indigenous nation or the nation, it happens in any situation, agrees to allow her to leave. So not just her permission, because the nation is responsible for its nationals and does have that control over saying who is of us. And if someone wants to leave, then there needs to be permission granted to allow that person to leave. But let's be clear. If they decide to leave, they are given that permission and it says, yes, you're free to go, they don't take any land with them. No, they don't take anything with them but the clothes on their back, so to speak. You know, this happened with, you know, there's a big outstanding, lawsuit waiting to happen, and that's because of when people were enfranchising, when they were enfranchised and elected that. Not many people did this. Not many Indigenous nationals did this, but sometimes they had to in order to go to school, for instance, be in the Army. And what would happen in those days is that a part of the reserve would be hived off and given to them. Well, you can't do that. They wanted to leave and Canada said, yes, we'll take you. They don't take part of the Indigenous nation's land with them. So that happened. A lot of reserves were made smaller because portions were then privatized in the hands of these enfranchised individuals. So, you know, it's... And it's not chief and council, for instance, that would allow an Indigenous national to leave the nation. This is not band membership that I'm talking about. I'm talking about the actual members of a nation. And in the case of Wet'suwet'en, we have the hereditary chiefs who are speaking on that jurisdiction and those jurisdictional issues. So I just really wanted to make that point clear, that fine, you know, how do you deal with people who say, I don't like, you know, and a lot of people have been through residential school, they don't like that they're, you know, they've been taught to view their history in a very negative light. It's sad, but this is the reality. They're indoctrinated, they're primed to view themselves a certain way, and they're happy as heck, as this particular one woman is, to say, look, I want to be part of Canada, forget about this nonsense. The sad thing is, and she's like expecting, you know, a better life, because I think she says she owns a truck or something, so she's maybe expecting some small contract. It's really sad to see the limited expectations that these people like this woman have been primed to accept. That's the limit of their vision. A person like that is in no position to comment as to the best interests of the nation proper. That's the role of the hereditary chiefs. It's unfortunate that so many Canadians do not understand these distinctions, and so any voice like that, they will give that kind of, lend that kind of credibility to it by giving it air time, right? But the reality of it is her personal opinion. Is she in a position to make a decision? No. So people like that really ought to be put into the proper context, and that's all I have to say.